So now we were at, you were just moving up to Oklahoma. What got you to Oklahoma? Was it work? Was it life? Like what specifically got you here?
My dad was an insurance adjuster, and he was an independent adjuster, but he took a staff job with this company, and the only position they had open was in Oklahoma.
I see.
So originally, I was like, I'm not going to Oklahoma. Like, who go? Everybody from Oklahoma was like, why are you coming to Oklahoma? Like, why would I want to live here? So I was originally planning on staying in Dallas. Like, me and my brother was supposed to get a spot and stay down there, because I was really trying to grind on my music down there. I had kind of got things moving a little bit, but he changed his mind on me last minute, and so I came out here, and I was like, well, I plan on moving back. So I think it was the first couple of years we was down here, I was like, I didn't even have a bed, so I didn't want to buy a bed, because I was like, I'm not gonna stay here. What am I gonna buy a bed for? I'm gonna have to move it. I'm gonna just wait. I slept on an air mattress for like 3 years, because I was determined to move back to Dallas, but it ended up not happening. So things change, life happens,
Absolutely.
I ended up staying in Oklahoma. So, but like I said, we moved up here because of that, and I would still go back to Dallas, like every other week, and I was still working with Syndrome, and Mo had also linked me up with this other dude named Mr. 65 that he had recorded at once, and so when he left, he just gave me his info, and I was like, all right, let me hit him up. He was like, yo, he's moving. He's been doing this for a while. 65 had actually been signed to a label before, and he had just got out of his label situation, and so I hit him up. He was still trying to work heavy on the music thing, so I drove down. I had hit him up. I drove down to Dallas. I set up in his room at his apartment, and we just recorded all day.
Yeah.
And that was how it started.
Got it in.
So from there, me and him have been working together. I think we did about 6 songs that one day, and Syndrome got involved. So then that was basically our crew. It was me, him, and 65, and we called ourselves M3rd, which stood for Mentally Motivated Masterminds. And
Mentally motivated mastermind.
yeah, so
like that.
M3rd. That's why on Instagram and Twitter my name is Deezy_M3rd.
I could dig it.
Because that was the group name back then.
I could dig it.
And so we was rocking together heavy. Like I used to go down every other week pretty much, and we would just post up and record. Sometimes we would be in a hotel room. I would get a hotel room to set up in, if so we wouldn't disturb nobody in the apartments and nothing like that. The hotel I used to post up at, they was cool.
Yeah.
So
so now not necessarily fast forward, but even in regards to where we're shooting this interview, let the folks know where we are and what your connection is to the setting.
So right now we're in the second floor studio at ACM. While I was, doing all this, going down to Dallas and recording with them, I wanted to get better at my craft, because I knew I wasn't up to par. Like, I felt like I had a good sound at the time, but I didn't feel like I was up to like industry standard. So I was like, well, let me go. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna get better at this. I'm gonna learn, and when I get done, I'm gonna be able to, really produce some solid stuff. And I think that was 2010 I started coming here, and so that was kind of what led up to me staying in Oklahoma.
Now, when you were here, obviously they have, a plethora of courses that are available. Specifically, what did you get into here?
I got into the music production. So, they had, performance classes. They had for vocalists. They had all kind of different, guitar courses, drummers, for all that. They had different courses for everybody. I was focused on doing the production, because I felt like that's where I wanted my focus to be, and that's what my goal was. But you know, in the process of coming here, I kind of, you know, grew a passion and realized that there were other things that I could do other than being just an artist. You know, I came here because I was an artist and I just wanted to have a better sound for me as an artist. But coming here made me realize that, oh, I can really be a producer, or I can get into videography or something like that. Like while we were here, I had to do a project editing a music video, and I chopped it up.
Yeah.
Hardest part of that was the color editing for me, but you know, I realized that, oh, I could do a lot more than what I'm kind of saying in my head. Like, oh, I'm boxing myself in, saying like I just want to do this one thing. So coming here, I kind of realized that there was more for me than just being an artist.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
I can dig that, man. So now, you know, so let us know, how did you get to the point where you became part of, you know, the group that everybody knows as the Gorilla Breed?
right. Okay. So, we're gonna fast forward. While I'm, you know, taking classes here, I think I put out, you know, while I was working with M3rd, we put out one mixtape called All Work No Play.
Right.
And we had recorded hundreds of songs.
Yeah.
Like, I think in a span of 4 or 5 months, we had recorded about 100 songs.
Hey.
And so, we didn't put out the rest of them. We used to we used to go to the gas stations in the hood and slang CDs, pop trunk on them, and you know, hustling, how you had to do in the old days.
Absolutely, manual way.
And so we kind of stopped working together because during the time I started coming here, you know, I got into a serious relationship with my girl. You know, we had our first kid, so I couldn't go back to Dallas so much. I put out one other project by myself called Mind Freak, and I ended up getting all those hard copies I pressed up got stolen out of my car, like right after I pressed them up. So I moved a couple of them, but you know, it was gone.
Yeah.
So I went on a hiatus. I didn't record any music for a while. Like I did a couple features here and there, but I was really like focused on, you know, building up, you know, my family, like getting money right.
Using life.
I was working.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I graduated and I was just working, and I used to, Rosie Turner, he's my barber. He was, at the time that I met Conway, he was cutting up at Legitimate Looks barbershop, and you know, I go in. I had done a track with him at that time, I believe, a feature for his album, because Rosie's a singer, and Conway would just happen to be in there, and it was like, yo, you spit, he spit, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what's up, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's hear something. So me and Conway just start ciphering in the barbershop. And it's not, like, for me, you really got to impress me for me to really care about what you're saying. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that I'm really nobody, but I'm just, like, what I look for when I listen to people rap, I look to hear something new that I haven't heard before. You know what I'm saying? I want to make that I just shit it face when I hear you say a bar. I don't want it to just be like, ah, he said that.
Yeah.
And like me and Conway was going back and forth, bro. And every time, like, we both was like, yo, this dude for real.
Well, and he mentions that too in his interview, that that's kind of how you ran into you, is that y'all would spit. And then one day, y'all, I think it was, you know, I guess after some haircuts, y'all was still there going back and forth.
Yeah. Well, so we met, this is like when we met, he was, you know, going back and forth. He was like, yo, let's do something. And Rosie messed with him. He was like, oh, you always say that. You ain't about it. You ain't serious. And so I got his info, but I don't think we ever really I chopped it up after that. And so I think it was a couple months later, something like that. Same situation. We back up in there ciphering. And he was like, yo, let's do something. And this time he was for real. So he called me. He was working on his album, Rap Suicide. And you know, he asked me to feature on the track OMG, and so he sent me the beat. I got to work on it, we laid it down, and I mean, the rest was history from there. And so while he's in the process of doing his release party, he approached me, and he said basically he had this idea of putting a collective together of, you know, a bunch of artists that have different skills other than, you know, not just rapping, but other skills too, that we can help each other out and help build each other up. And so that was basically his idea, to put Gorilla Breed together. So I was, other than AAA, I was the first person that he brought into Gorilla Breed and that he approached about it. So, and he already knew from the rip, like, you know, he wanted me in there. He said he saw the talent and he saw my passion for it, and so, you know,
it's been on ever since.
It's been on and popping. So